Today we're at Woodland Lakes in Thirsk. I'm going to talk to you about what I would do in a normal 5-hour match, how many swims I'd have, how I'd do my bait, what I'd have on the hook bait, how I'd feed it and stuff like that. Just give you a general idea of what I'd do really on a normal match. Yeah, so today I used the old style Preston feeders to among the new one. It's just a 15-gram small one, and all I've got there is I buy the ready tied ones, it's a Guru. It's a size 14 hook, banded SMWG hook, and this is to 019 I think, 019, 017, just strong durable tackle. I mean I use these for my shallow fishing as well and they never let you down, so it's tied to 9-pound line, just perfect really. I mean, you might have to change your hook after every 15 or so fish, but they're pretty strong. They do the job here. I like to use 4mm here. I just think it tricks them bigger carp. Not all the carp have seen it. I think after so long when you use micros, what you notice, you start getting more liners. You can even get foul lookers sometimes, caught in the fins and stuff. I think if you just use 4mm, by the time you've hooked a fish and the fish around it, by the time you recast, there's nothing left. They've almost all gone. Just a little pile of pellets, what's there on your feeder, and that's it, gone. I just think it's a bit cleaner than using micros sometimes. I like micros at the start sometimes because they're good for attracting them, but once you've got a few fish there, I'll just stick to the 4mm. It just seems to be a lot better throughout the day, I think. So I'm going to show you how I prepare my 4mm when I'm match fishing. This is just a normal bag out of the shop, 4mm. Just add literally about a handful of water, if that. Give it a soak around. Touch that. And then I leave them for about 5 minutes or so. Just while I'm getting my nets out and stuff, or getting my bait out. Let them take on a little bit of water. And then I'll add the same amount in about 5 minutes. And then they'll be ready. And then after that, I'll just add a touch of this, mix it round. And if they need a little handful just before the start, I'll just add it again, and they'll be right and they'll start sticking once they're ready. So today I've just got these wafters, the smaller ones and the big ones. I sometimes like to use these here. I think just tricks them big carp sometimes, instead of all these big things. And then instead, just as a change of hook bait, I've just got these here. These are just normal little wafters, but what I've done is I've just added a bit of our orange bait dye, and it just changes them up a little bit. Just after every few fish, just put one of them on. And that's it. That's all I'll need to do. I started on partridge, I think around 5 or 6. I sat here on, because on Saturday I drew partridge 7. I think I had about 55 carp on the method. So I thought, we'll sit here today, should have a decent day, get a few bites. Probably started match fishing now about 3.5, 4 years ago. I started coming here pleasure fishing just after COVID or just before, and I just fell in love with the place, to be honest. I met Craig, he offered me a job here working, and it just went on since then. I started doing the odd matches, and just picked things up really. That must have been about 3.5 years ago. I've just been here ever since. I've gotten on that method feeder fishing lately. It's just, I think it's not easier than a pole fishing, but it is in a way. I mean, it's easier to set up. It's a bit more simple like that, but I just think it's quicker. I think you can catch more fish on it. You can be a bit more aggressive with your bait and stuff. I mean, you're not looking for all this liners on your float, nothing like that. You might get the odd movement on your tip, but you're just looking for that whack around initially. I just think it's a lot better. Sometimes when you've got a lot of room like this on a method, I don't think you're going to beat it. Not even if you're fishing down the edge. I think that method is just... I think it's probably the quickest way you can catch it if you get it going properly. I do. At the minute, I'd leave it in about 2-3 minutes max. It depends how much room you've got in a match. If you haven't got too much room, I'll maybe leave it 3-4 minutes, and I'll ping 4 pellets twice over the top. If it doesn't go around, I'll do the same again. If you've got quite a bit of room like I did on Saturday, I just had one line straight in front of me, and I was quite aggressive from the start. I think I was pinging 6 to 8 pellets twice straight away, and it took about an hour and a half, I'd say, until it kicked in, and then once they were there, it was just non-stop till the end of the match it was. Hookbait wise, I just start on maybe a bright coloured yellow wafter and just see how that goes. And if I don't get a few fish, I'll maybe change to a smaller one, try and trick them wiser carp. And then if I'm catching on a yellow wafter, I'll just stick on it and I'll just try and get it better and better, see how it goes. Maybe at the start, I'll just start not too aggressive and just work my way in. And then once I know there's a few fish there, I'll just be aggressive and just try and keep them there, build the swim up bigger really, that's what I'll do. Some of my best catches on the method here is probably... One of them was probably on Saturday, to be honest. They were all quite small carp I had on Saturday. If they were big carp, I would have had a right weight, but I think it was last year one time. It was about this time last year I had 337 pound on the method. That's my biggest weight on the method, to be honest. And that was the same. We had quite a bit of room. I just fished one line in front of me, and I think I was building it up for about an hour, and then after an hour it was just one bung till the end. Sometimes you didn't really have time to even cat in. You just cast out, you're going to grab your catapult and your rod was going off the rest. I've had a few 200s and that even there, but there we go. But yeah, I think I've had 337 pound as my best weight on the feeder here. I think that's probably about 50-60 carp. On Saturday I had 286 pound, but like I said, they were all small carp. And then again, I think I had about 50 carp, 55 carp. Just a little tiny one. I first started using Fjuka bait. Not a lot of people would believe me, to be honest. I can remember I fished the Silvers one match on Kestrel, and I was next to Ryan Bennett. And he didn't believe me when I told him after, and I showed him and I give him some. He's probably still got that packet in his bag now, to be honest. But I don't think quite a lot of people would believe me, to be honest, but it sort of caught my eye ever since I seen it, to be honest. I quite liked it. It was just different than the rest, and ever since I've used it, I've kind of just stuck with it, really. It's always been there in my bag. Through the summer, through winter. You can do pretty much everything with it. It's good for silvers, them little 2-in-1s. I like them in the winter. In the summer, you can step it up to the naturals, the wafters and stuff. You've got the ground baits, the pellets, where you can use them. I don't like to have too many lines. I'll only really have 3 lines max. I'll have a short line and 2 long lines, depending on how much room you've got really. If I've got a lot of room, and I'll just have 1 line just straight in front of me, about 5 metres before the middle, so no one can kind of steal your fishing away. But I'll just, if I've got a lot of room, like I did on Saturday, I'll just have the 1 line straight in front of me, and you're just trying to build it up. That's all I do really. It doesn't take too long. Sometimes they're there straight away. Sometimes you have to feed it and keep on going for 2 hours, and then when they rock up, you can just get 1 and 1 till the end. So yeah, I like to cast. When I cast, I'll give it that whack forward, and then I like to feather it in, and you just want a nice plop. You don't want it to go crashing in, smashing, making a load of noise. You just want a nice plop. I think that's better here. I don't like to use a clip or anything like that, because I've seen a lot of people who use a clip here and cast out, hits the clip nice, but then you get that whacking bait, that whacking bite, sorry. As soon as they run, they're just going to hit that clip, it's just going to snap. If I was fishing to an island, I'd use a clip, because you don't need to worry about them doing that there, but here, I would never use a clip, just in case you just get that run and then it just snaps on the clip. I think if you got your initial area, you can feed on quite a big bed here. You're not fishing too tight. As long as you just feed it in, get it in that general area where you're feeding, you'll be all right. As long as you've got your drag set tight, you don't need a clip or anything like that. So I'll show you, this is how I generally have a normal cast at Woodlands. I have my feeder about halfway to my rod. I'll flick it forward, flick it back, I'll cast in, whip it back, and then I'll feather it down. You should get that nice plop. Shouldn't crash in or all your bait come off, anything like that. And then I just sink my line. You can watch your line just going down, and then once it's about halfway, I just give it that little reel once. Just get that nice bend in your rod. And then that's it, you're ready. You're ready for pinging your bait in or watching your rod, whatever you're going to do next. It's as simple as that, really. When I'm feeding here, at the start, you're not going too aggressive. You're just going a few pellets, working your way in. You're sort of seeing how much you want, really. Some days you can get away with just pinging 2 pellets over the top and you don't need no more. Some days you might need to start doing 8 pellets, 10 pellets twice just to get them there. And then once a day you can either do a little bit less or a little bit more, depending on how it's going. But at the start, sometimes I won't always just go too aggressive, because sometimes I think you can back off a little bit from that. I think if you just work your way in, see how it goes from there after maybe an hour, 2 hours, and just go from there, really. How I'd loose feed is I'd cast in as normal. I'd cut in me 6 pellets in twice over the top, and then you're generally just watching your rod for any indications. If you're not having no indications within 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or even a minute, then I'll think about cutting in again. Doesn't have to be 6 again twice, it could just be 2 or the odd 1. You're just trying to get that bit of noise in your swim and just attract a fish there, really. But once I cast in, I've constantly got the catapult in my hand, constantly cattying baiting. I won't be sat there longer than a minute, 2 minutes without putting a few pellets in. You're constantly just trying to build up that swim. So I like to use this my rod rest. I've got it just here locked onto my leg, because this one will be facing that way. I'm casting this way today, so I like to have my rod going. I like it to have go whichever way I'm casting, really. And I'll have my rod this way, looking at whichever way I'm going. And I've just got this back bit locked onto my box here. So if I'm not looking and it does go around, it's always going to be secure in on my leg here. Generally I don't like to have my rod too high from the water. I like to have it as low down as I can, just as less line in the water, out the water, sorry. And that's how I'd usually have me set up, really, for a method feeder. Today I've got an 1.5 ounce tip in, and I like to have just a slight bend on it. I don't like to have too much, just in case you do get a bit of liners and it moves it because it's that tight. I don't like to have it too loose, just because when I'm pinging in pellets I like to see if you're getting any liners. If I'm getting liners, then I might back down from putting a few more pellets in, but if I'm not getting liners, then I might start putting more in. Just, you're seeing how it goes really, you're just trying to read your swim off your tip, if that makes sense. Just be patient and don't force it. Sometimes it can take a while to get things going. I see a lot of people, they'll pick up the feeder rod, they'll try it for 10 minutes. If it's not going around every chuck, that's it. They'll put it away till the end of the match. I think you've got to give it a few hours. You have to try and build it up and make it happen. You can't just cast in every time, ping the same pellets, and it's always going to work, because it's not like that. So if you just be patient and just work your way into it, that's usually the best way, I'd say. Depending on the room you've got, if you've got a lot of room, then I'll just go straight, I say halfway, but just a little bit closer than halfway. If it's a bit tighter, then I'll maybe start off on my 16-metre line, just to see what's there, just in case you might cast past a few, sometimes I think, when it's tight like that. If it's a bit tight, I'll start maybe on my 16-metre line, and then I'll have my left line and my right line, like 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And usually they're about the same, about halfway, a few metres back. Just if there's someone sat opposite you and you're catching halfway, usually what they're going to do is chuck over. So I like to have it just a bit closer to me, and then it's usually about 25 metres area. And they're usually what I would do, usually like a 16-metre line, 25-metre line, or if you've got a lot of room, just that one line straight in front, about 20 metres, 25 metres. Hey. So we've finally got one now. Been fishing for about 45 minutes. Best part of 45 minutes. And when I'm playing a carp, what I like to do is I like to keep my rod low. Just keep it low, whichever side you're fishing on. Keep pressure on it constant. Just wait to get it at your feet. As soon as it's at your feet, you just want to give it that lift. Just wait for it to be ready. It's as simple as that, really. I hope, see, nice drop back there, and we're in, second fish. So hopefully that's it now, hopefully they've moved in, we can start catching a few. It's probably took about 45 minutes. But then there's 2 and 2 chucks there straight away. And like I say, here at Woodlands, they're not small fish. It could be anything from a 4-pound carp to, realistically, a 20-pound carp, so... Just keep that rod nice and low. I always keep it low until it's at my feet. I won't have it high, anything like that. As soon as I strike, straight to your feet. And then you get that to your feet, and you just lift. And she's ready like that. second fish in a net. So like I say again, I just like to keep your rod low while you're playing it. If you have it higher or anything, I just think it just wants to go further. Just keep it nice and low. Keep on putting pressure on it. Just make sure your drag's nice and set, so you're not going to get snapped or anything like that. And then as soon as I've got it to my feet, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a quick lift up, and you should be able to scoop it straight in if it's ready. It's as easy as that, really. So I've been fishing for about 2 hours now, and it's gone alright. The session, it probably took about 40 minutes or something to get them going, but since then it's been fish a chuck. Constantly been putting that bait in, keeping the dinner bell ringing, and now it's just a fish a chuck, really. Just be as quick as you can, keep the bait going in. It's been good, really. I've had fish from £5 carp to £10, and yeah, they just keep on coming. Another nice one. It don't take many of them to get a big weight, really.